the IT security world, I think we're seeing quite an interesting situation at the moment as threats are obviously increasing. There's been some very high-profile breaches recently. IT complexity is exploding with the advent of social networking, with mobile devices coming into organizations and being used for activities that frankly would have been within the perimeter historically. So we're starting to see that securing the perimeter is not necessarily enough by itself. We need to look at a whole bunch of other things. And against the backdrop also that IT security budgets are staying pretty static. So there's a big problem for organizations at the moment in how to spend and how to counter the threat and the complexity. So what we've realized is that it's very important to add business value to the solutions that you're selling so that you can get over this disparity between cost or budget and the nature of the issues that you're trying to address. Some of the things that we're doing as ActivIdetity are building our software solutions into appliance form factors so that they're much more easy to deploy. One example of where we can add value, so we've launched a product called our Credential Management System Appliance, and that enables organizations that are relatively small to issue a smart card-based credential in a very simple and straightforward way. It's really changed the way the market works so that smart cards can be used for much smaller applications. Historically, smart cards have been the preserve of governments and big-scale organizations. But now you can look at much smaller organizations and smaller deployments within big organizations as well. And the great thing about smart cards, you can add business value. So not only can you use them to log on to your PC, you can also use them to log on or get through your door. You can use them for the cafe. There's a whole bunch of different values that you can add to the card. And that brings me to one point that I do want to make. With ActivIdetity, have been around for about 20 years as an independent company, but now we've become part of the HID Global family. So HID acquired us at the end of last year. HID, one of the world's leading providers of secure identity with a particular emphasis on physical access control. So if you think about that and matching it with ActivIdetity's logical access control expertise, suddenly you can see that there's a bit of a convergent story that could be made there. And ActivIdetity and HID together are really unique in our ability to deliver a converged solution. So, hitting on the head the physical access issues and the logical access issues from one vendor is really quite compelling to our customer base. We see that as a firm trend. There's a bigger trend driving that as well, in that organizations are looking to consolidate their management systems because they're facing these increased complexity issues. There's more and more things to manage. So consolidating some of the management capabilities makes absolute sense.
Organizers of this exhibition, InfoSecurity Europe, pay special attention to educational program for visitors. What kind of education or what kind of knowledge is the most important from your point of view for customers and users?
Yeah, it's obviously a general IT security awareness, an awareness of some of the threats that they could be facing. So people are still relatively prone to doing silly things in organizations, opening emails from people they don't know, being conned by attachments that say, this is your compensation plan for the year. So being mindful of the general IT security procedures and policies is one thing. And I think also the recent threats, the recent hacks that we've seen in the news show that securing the perimeter is not really enough anymore. My marketing colleague used the analogy of a submarine the other day. So in a submarine, you don't only secure the hull, each of the compartments is secure, and that's something that we fervently believe as well. So it's not enough just to secure the perimeter, you have to look at how you secure people who have access to all of the different sensitive data. So strong authentication, at least on the sensitive applications, is needed, not just on the perimeter anymore.
I see. As you know, we are organizing InfoSecurity Russia. And what could you tell about Russian market? What's your vision? Are Russian customers different from European, for example? Isn't important emerging markets, or what's your vision?
Absolutely. We see Russia as one of our key emerging markets. So there's a lot more emphasis on strong authentication coming through now. And we believe that that's going to become much more prevalent in the Russian territory as a whole. So we're seeing it as one of our key markets. We actually see Russia as one of the more advanced markets for us to be addressing right now.